So, hello everyone. My name is Jasmine Appleton, and I am the Chief Director of Entrepreneurial Growth and Innovation at the Progress Center for Black Women. And I am here with Haley Davis, who is the Vice President of External Relations at Badger Consulting for UW-Madison. So, today we're just going to be asking Haley a few questions about Badger Consulting and how it benefits entrepreneurs in the Madison area. So, Haley, if you want to introduce yourself, please.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for the initial introduction. As Jasmine said, I'm Haley. I am a rising senior at UW-Madison, and one of my main things on campus is that I am the Vice President of External Relations at Badger Consulting, which Badger Consulting is a student-run organization where we perform pro bono consulting services for small businesses, mostly in the Madison area, but also elsewise. And what we do is we work specifically from semester to semester in smaller teams of analysts, about 8 to 10 analysts with 2 project managers per project. And we do mostly management consulting, strategy consulting-ish, but we can get into that more. But that's us.
Perfect. Alrighty. Well, you answered my first question, which is great. We already knocked that out. What is Badger Consulting? Um, and just to kind of give the audience a bit of a background, so I found out about Badger Consulting through the Downtown Madison Inc. newsletter, and I seen the just a brief explanation of what you guys are doing. So I reached out to Haley and we met just so I can learn more about what they provide and how it can potentially benefit the entrepreneurs in our network. So that's a bit of a background of how Haley and I originally connected. So, Haley, based on what Badger Consulting does, when and why should entrepreneurs reach out to the program and get started working with you guys?
So when is really you can reach out anytime. Don't ever hesitate to think that it is the wrong time to reach out to us. We always like to hear from small businesses and connect with them about how we can help them. If you are really looking for when is probably the fastest turnaround, as I said, we work in each semester. So the only time that we are performing our consulting services is from the client side, September to December, and then February to April or May. So the best time to reach out to be in one of those cycles is either in November, and that would be to work with us in the spring, or April or May to work with us in the following fall. So usually by the summer, it does depend on who is in my position at the time, but we do try and have all of our projects done sort of by the beginning of the summer. But as I said, also reach out anytime. We can always just have you first on the list for the next semester. So it's never a cut thing and we'll never reach out to you or something like that. We always want to help. And then why? Uh, I would say really any need that you have. The one thing that we have found was a client was looking to be connected with services for actually creating a website, like web design and more tech focused. Unfortunately, we do not perform those services, but really everything else we like to say. So any like marketing campaigns, if you're looking to start a new business and are wanting to look at what the industry is looking like, things like that. Those are, yeah, most of like the regular management type of thing, I would say.
Perfect, perfect. That sounds good. And I know in our original meeting you mentioned that Badger Consulting is like another section of SBDC, and you guys are partnered together. So, can you just talk a little bit about how Badger Consulting and the Small Business Development Center works together?
Yeah, absolutely. So we are I would say we are a separate entity from SBDC, but we do have a partnership within the Wisconsin School of Business. This means that every semester about 3 to 4 of our projects come from SBDC clients. So it's up to the Small Business Development Center to choose which projects that might be. But usually on those types of projects, they end up having us work on a business plan. So writing everything out for the client and making sure that they have all of the analyses that they need. This tends to be a marketing, competitive, industry, and financial analysis. And then really any other research that the client would want to know if they want to look more at, I don't know, where their product could go or something like that, or if their service looks like it could add something on, that is totally something that research that we do for SBDC clients. But in a nutshell, it's just sourcing clients for us, and then usually that work goes back to SBDC, and they will use that in addition to all of the other prep that they help the client with without us, for what tends to be like a bank loan or something like that, where the client needs to have everything flushed out, and so we work with them to get that done for them.
Perfect, perfect. And what does the process look like when entrepreneurs reach out? So when they reach out and they state, whatever thing they're hoping to get some help with, what does that kind of look like, and how do you proceed with assisting them?
So the process looks like a meeting with me. So just as we met, you reached out,
Mhm.
we talked about what Badger Consulting can do for you, what you can do for Badger Consulting. It's really the same type of thing. So the vice president of external relations, at the moment me, but this will change towards the spring semester. Um, so whoever is in that role, you'll have a meeting with them about the scope of the project, the pain points, opportunities that the client wants, and really just field it to make sure that there is a project there and that we can help you. And after that, we then as we go into the semester, I like to have a meeting with the client again, just right before they meet with our project managers, and make sure that everything is still fine. If they wanted a bit more time to think, they've had that time and we square everything away. And then about 2 weeks before analysts start, so let's say for this fall semester, um, our project managers will meet with clients in the last week of September or the first week of October. So that's about, a month into the semester if we're looking onwards. And then you'll have one check-in meeting after that with the project managers in the middle towards, or maybe 2/3 through the semester. So for a fall semester, that's usually right before Thanksgiving.
Mhm.
And then at the end of the semester, you have the final meeting. We talk about the deliverables. If there was a business plan written up, all of that is transferred to the client. They can ask any last questions. And that is what the process looks like. And then afterwards, we can determine if we want this to be a one-off project or ongoing project. But usually we tend to be just one time.
Gotcha. Perfect. So I guess that kind of also answers my question about how long does your team typically work with an entrepreneur, whether it's, ongoing or a one-time occurrence. So can you just kind of clarify that as well too?
Yeah, absolutely. So as I mentioned before, sorry, I'm like totally over
No, it's
explaining,
okay. It's okay.
but yeah. So for the fall, September to December is when we're working with the entrepreneur, spring, February to May.
Mhm.
Um, it can be an ongoing project if we want it to be, or if, some new opportunity comes up during the semester and it's not feasible to do both at once. We would love to continue working with the project, as long as we don't have ones already promised for the next semester. But um, I did find myself for this upcoming fall semester reaching back out to previous clients, seeing if they had anything that they wanted to work on. So it is totally open for both. We just don't have as much precedent for continuing on. We try to get everything done within the 6 to 8 weeks that we work with our clients, just so that they have everything in a nice, clean turnaround. But yes, I think that pretty much answers that.
Yeah, absolutely. Perfect. Um, Alrighty. And we talked a little bit about like the time of year that you guys are, taking on the entrepreneurs' workloads and stuff like that. So that's been clarified. So what is the best way that an entrepreneur can prepare for a meeting with you, or, with someone from your team? Like, is there any documents they should have in order? What does that kind of look like?
Yeah, so as far as a meeting with the vice president of external relations, The one thing that you have to have prepared is having an idea of what you would like us to help with. Other than that, really nothing needs to be prepared because that's when we get to know each other and talk through everything. So it's not doesn't need to be super prepared for as long as you have an idea of what we can work on.
Mhm.
Then when you meet with our project managers, and this will come up in the meeting with me, is that we'll figure out, if you need all your financials prepared so that we can look through them, or if you really have any marketing materials, anything about the product or service, just so that we can get to know that, having like social media pulled up so that we can look through that. But then most of the work that goes into it is with our analysts. So just having it ready for them, but not necessarily, ready to talk through it unless it's something that you see fit that we should.
Right.
Mhm.
Awesome. And so as far as the students who are assisting the entrepreneurs, excuse me, are
Mhm.
what kind of background in UW are they coming from? Like, are they a part of the Wisconsin School of Business? Do they have like a certain major that they're in for?
There is no certain major. We like to
Okay.
take everyone. As far as who is client facing, those are our project managers. So they have already been an analyst for at least one semester. It's usually 2 to 3 beforehand. And they can, as I said, can be from any major. So we do have a lot of people from the Wisconsin School of Business, but we have also started to have even more people in data science, computer science, more tech or engineering backgrounds as well. So we always have that background, maybe not in project managers always, but definitely in analysts as they come up through the program and then into project managers.
Mhm.
But as far as outside of their academics, we do have an analyst training program as well as a project manager training program. So we're not just throwing our analysts to the wind and telling them to figure it out. We
Mhm.
show them where all of our resources are so that they can do the best research that we can, as well as anyone to reach out to. Our project managers who do work with SBDC have a bit of a mentorship, I would say, with
Mhm.
SBDC. So they are looking over them while they're working on that. But that is only for those clients. So then we tend to put our newer project managers on those. So then when you have a project that is external, as we like to say, um, it is someone who has been through a project already, and we always make sure that there is a veteran project manager with a junior project manager. So you never have someone who's never faced with a client before. And I think that's about it for preparing. I guess that was or
Yeah.
also with how prepped we are. So
Mhm.
mhm.
Perfect, perfect. No, that sounds really good. And then do you guys offer office hours for like other organizations or companies or anything like that that may be interested in having, some students stop by maybe once a month or, something like that, where they can meet with people in their network, person facing, or is it just preferably where entrepreneurs are just meeting with you guys directly in person in your, wherever you guys are on campus, or how does that work?
So we don't have anything like office hours for our clients.
Right.
If it is a quick question, I'm sure we would be happy to answer it. We just haven't done that in the past. There's no precedent for it. Um,
Mhm.
I'm not familiar, but that sounds like something that the SBDC might have available.
Right.
Just if you're looking for a one-off question like that. We do meet, as I said, we do meet with small businesses that aren't necessarily in Madison. So we
Mhm.
will meet the client if they are within, depending on the project manager's car or busing distance or biking or however the way that they can get to them, or if they'd like to meet on campus, that is absolutely fine as well. But we are just as happy meeting remotely
Okay.
too. So that is fine. But I think, yeah, that's how it tends to be, is just whatever
Mhm.
the client is most comfortable with.
Gotcha.
Definitely not required to be in person or online. It's whatever they prefer.
Perfect, perfect. Okay, great. And then what is the best way to get in contact with your team?
Yeah, so right now, it would be to contact me. My email is hsdavis, so Davis 3 at wisc.edu. But also on our website, we have a way to contact us. So that would be at badgerconsultinguw.com. But I believe that is probably the best way. So currently for the next 6 months, reaching out to me is totally fine. But then after that, our email will change and we'll get
Mhm.
that squared away with you also when that change happens.
Yes, perfect. And for anyone in our network who is wanting to get in touch with Haley, you're more than also welcome to reach out to me so that I can connect you to Haley as well, and get you the information you need to work with Badger Consulting. Perfect. Last question. Anything else that business owners should know, or just any interesting facts or things you want to point out that they should be made aware of before reaching out?
I don't know if there's any interesting facts about about us. I guess just uh the biggest thing is just we would love to hear from you. Never be
Yep.
discouraged to reach out to us. We are always looking for new projects. And we have been working since 2018, so we have a good amount of precedent and past projects that we can pull from. So and if it's something that we've never heard of before, we'd love to learn about it. So never, yeah, never stray away from reaching out to us.
Perfect. Alrighty. Well, this was great. Thank you, Haley, again for taking the time to do this Q&A so that we can bring awareness to Badger Consulting and the services you guys provide for business owners. So thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Thank you so much for your time.
Alrighty.